I'm Jane Armstrong, and I'm a professor of English at Northern Arizona University, and I teach creative writing. You know, I didn't get my BA in English, so it wasn't my first choice. I have a BA in international affairs, and so I was going to be a diplomat. And I planned to join the Peace Corps and change the world. And then, like, you know how you have to take English classes for liberal studies and stuff like that, and I started really liking those classes more than my degree classes. And then people just started telling me that I was a good writer. It wasn't anything that I thought, you know, I just hadn't thought about it. And so then when I got my master's, I just decided to try it in creative writing because I heard about this thing called workshop, and it seemed like all these cool students around me were in workshop, and I didn't really know what it was, but it seemed kind of competitive and cool, so I applied for a creative writing degree without ever having written a piece of creative writing. And so the very first story I ever wrote was my application manuscript for a master's in creative writing, and I got in. So it was like, this is not, I don't recommend this at all, this is not the common path. So when I was in my master's, you know, I just hadn't read all the stuff that, you know, English majors did, and I feel like I'm still catching up. But so anyway, that's how that happened. It kind of happened to me. It's called the National Endowment for the Arts, and this is the major federal funding program for the arts in the United States. So it publishes things like National Public Radio and PBS and major art projects throughout the country. And so every year there's a creative writing fellowship, and it alternates years. One year it'll be poetry, and the other year it'll be prose. So I applied for this when I was really young, like in my 20s, and I thought I was hot shit, and I wasn't. I didn't know what I was doing at all. And so I just kind of felt like I've been doing some interesting work, so I just decided to apply for this, and it's hugely competitive, and it's actually one of the top creative writing honors or prizes or whatever you want to call it in the country. So it's, yeah, highly competitive. You have to qualify for it, so you have to get, I can't remember now, like something like 10 or 12 publications within like a 2-year span in order to be qualified for it. So I had the publications, and I've been doing this interesting stuff, I think. None of it's been published. I mean, nobody is interested in it, but I like it. So I just thought, okay, I'll apply. And there were something like, I don't remember the numbers now, like 1,700 applications, and out of that, 34 were chosen. And the award is $25,000 to support your work, which is nice, but in some ways, I mean, back to what I was going to major in, money doesn't really, it doesn't matter to me all that much. It was like, oh wow, like I got an NEA, that's so cool. So anyway, it's like buying a lottery ticket. You know, you don't expect to win. Like you know, you jump in and apply and hope for the best. But you know, I kind of forgot that I did it. So I'm sitting here in my office where we are right now, and I see on my phone a call from Washington, D.C. And, you know, I was thinking, I don't know anybody from Washington, D.C., and I knew that I applied for this grant, and so I picked it up thinking that maybe they had lost my materials or something, or had a question. And so this very nice man answers, and he says, congratulations, you've been chosen. And I went, and I'm here in my office really loud, I said, are you fucking kidding me? And so he was like, no, seriously, congratulations, you were chosen. And it's like, oh my God. And so I got up and like went over to the window and like took a few deep breaths, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I said, I've dropped the F-bomb. And he's like, it happens all the time. And so then we kept talking, and I kind of calmed down, and I still didn't really believe it was real. And so I called my husband and I said, I just won an NEA. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And so then I immediately got an email, and I forwarded it to him because I still thought that I'd hallucinated the email. And I'm like, Dawn, read this email. Does it look real to you? And he's like, yeah, you know, I think you actually won this. But then the other thing that's really interesting about it is that they tell you that you got it, but you're not allowed to tell anybody for like 2 weeks until they do their national publicity. So it's like I had this secret, you know, that I was carrying around for 2 weeks, and it was, yeah, really strange. But still, yeah, hard to believe. The thing that's happened since I won this big award is that now when I sit down to write, it's like, is this worthy of an NEA? It's like, are they gonna take it back? I mean, it's like I'm really just stressed by it. You know, it's like, no, the standards are too high for me now. I'm not going to be able to, you know, like live up to this. So now I'm freaking out in a different way. So I kind of just don't wanna know. I have an idea. I think there's one piece that I know for sure I sent. I like writing, and I think a lot of artists feel this way, and I like writing the way I used to like art when I was a kid, when it's going well, which is just me alone with my work, just playing with my ideas and not thinking about who's gonna like this or where I'm gonna send it. I was kind of imposing on that. So now I'm kind of back to where I'm doing work that I'm interested in and I feel good about, just being alone with it.